know, this idea that Ottawa's bureaucracy and politicians can manage First Nations people is not only paternalistic and insulting, but it's proven wrong. I mean, what does the bureaucracy in Ottawa have to teach you about good management? The amount of money that's being wasted in our nation's capital. You know, the only thing I disagree with you on is you say that it should be a third for the government, a third for the community. I don't think the federal government should get a third. I think it should get a lot less than a third. If the resources are developed in your land, you should get the money. The workers and the businesses that invest should get the money. We don't need the money to go to Ottawa where it will be squandered on bureaucracy. My goal is to streamline, get the bureaucracy out of your life, have predictable funding flows so you can manage your future, and let you keep your own source revenues, including through a First Nations resource charge, so that when this forestry company does harvest timber on your land, they pay the benefits to you first, and then your community can be the first to benefit from it. I don't want to run your life. I want to run a small and competent government that stays out of your way and lets you fulfill your full potential.
I also want to recognize our veterans who stood with their back to you. That should be acknowledged.
Thank you.
And our LGBTQAA+, because in your speech you did not acknowledge missing murdered women. You did not acknowledge the United Nations. You did not acknowledge the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. You did not acknowledge the inherent title rights where my people come from. The majority of our province are inherent title and rights. It's treaty rights and constitution rights, but it's also inherent title and rights. So if you fail to recognize that, you need to educate yourself on that. So the other part is that you also failed to recognize our residential school survivors, who is a real live issue. If you're working to be the next Prime Minister in Canada, it tells me you have a lot of education to do in those fronts. And coming here and not acknowledging it is the first step that you need to do. And also, one of the biggest things is our children and our families. And I want to also say, underscore climate change. I did not hear anything about the climate crisis, climate change issues. There's a hurricane in the town right now from the remnants from Burrell. How can we dismiss climate crisis? It's real, it's happening. We have heat domes people are dying from. We have wildfires. That has to be one of your top agendas, not just the economy and business to Canada. You have to address the climate crisis.
I just wanted to reference your saying that Harper apologized. We endured the worst 10 years ever under the Harper Conservative government. An apology without actions, an apology without money to back it and to make fundamental change are just hollow words in the wind. And we want to ensure that what we endured under the Harper regime, we won't go through that with you. So what assurances can you give us? I want to also ensure that under the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal, it was a hard-fought battle that we won, and it proved Canada discriminated against First Nations children. I want to ensure that you are going to honor any of the final settlement agreements that we have come to ensure that there is discrimination has in fact truly ended and will never happen again, to ensure that the resources, the billions of dollars that we fought for is going to be protected. And again, I must say that I haven't heard anything that talks about our social agenda. We talked about economic development. I just want you to know that the way that we are right now in TACLA is that our children, our people, our lands will not be commodified, and that we are the true, to understand what inherent right means. I am hereditary chief. I am the Section 35 rights holder. So I think you need to really, again, educate yourself for that. And again, to have a really clear plan to ensure how's your government going to ensure that no longer will our women ever go missing and go murdered again. So we need to hear clear plans.
Thank you very much for that. A lot of different issues you raised. On the issue of the climate, our belief is the best way to tackle the issue of climate change is through technology and not taxes. Taxes are not working. They are impoverishing our people. They are making it more expensive for people, particularly who live in rural and remote communities. We need to unleash the production of clean, emissions-free energy. That includes nuclear, hydroelectric, and other forms, but to do that we need to speed up the approval process to get these things built. That will bring down costs but also bring down emissions. On the issue of discrimination, our party has been clear when it comes to children's services. Our party has been clear that we support Jordan's principle and that we will give equal treatment and we will support a redress of past injustices and discrimination in child services. You know, we will continue to work with you to resolve the other outstanding issues that you raised. And we believe that economic reconciliation is part of social progress. We need jobs and opportunity for First Nations communities that will ultimately give people a chance to escape poverty and to provide resources for clean water, for education, for health, and for other basic necessities. Both of those things have to go hand in hand. Social support requires economic reconciliation.